According to the official history of PBS, the Philippine Broadcasting System in the Philippine Islands, the first programming from OWI, the Office of War Information in Los Angeles, California, and VOA, the Voice of America in New York City, was on the air from a low-powered medium-wave transmitter aboard an American submarine in the Lingayen Gulf, off the west coast of Luzon Island. This unique radio broadcasting station operated with just 50 watts under the call sign KZSO, and it took to the air in its Philippine service in December 1944. Here's Ray Robinson with more.
Thanks, Jeff. Back during that era, AFRS, the American Forces Radio Service, had developed a small portable radio station that could be packed into 5 suitcases, complete with a medium-wave transmitter, a gramophone turntable, music library, pre-recorded radio programs, and a shortwave receiver. It would seem evident that the Philippine submarine operation with OWI VOA programming under the call sign KZSO was on the air with the usage of one of these very portable, very unusual, and very small medium-wave radio stations. 2 months later, portable station KZSO was removed from the American submarine in the Lingayen Gulf and taken ashore, where it was quickly reassembled and reactivated again on February the 3rd, 1945. As the American Armed Forces advanced south, down towards the 100-mile distant city of Manila, portable KZSO was, as the PBS document stated, alongside the American soldiers. And apparently it was also activated at times during that month-long campaign. Initially, after the American forces captured the almost totally devastated city of Manila, mobile KZSO was activated temporarily from a makeshift studio in an old warehouse operated by Carmelo and Bowerman on Azcaraga Street, now Claro M. Recto Street, adjacent to the Far Eastern University. However, soon afterwards, a new composite radio broadcasting station was assembled using the available leftover equipment from a Japanese radio station, as well as from abandoned AFRS stations and the mobile KZSO. This new radio station was inaugurated in May 1945 as an OWI operation with local program productions and a relay on shortwave from VOA in California. The new VOA relay station, now with 5 kilowatts on 710 kilohertz, was installed in the Ramon Roses building on Sola Street in Santa Cruz, Manila, a historic commercial building that has since been rebuilt and modernized. Initially, the suggested call sign for the composite new VOA medium wave station in Manila was KZRM, with the K and the Z indicating Luzon Island in the Philippines and RM indicating Radio Manila. However, Radio Manila with call sign KZRM was a legitimate commercial medium wave and shortwave radio station in pre-war Manila, and it was likely to be reactivated, so another call sign was taken instead, KZFM. That composite radio station is recognized as the first medium wave station on the air in Manila after liberation, and it was allocated the American call sign KZFM, with the K indicating the Philippines back then, the Z indicating Luzon, and FM honoring Frederick Marquardt, a personal friend of General Douglas MacArthur and a fellow American who had been a pre-war newspaper editor in Manila. The probably informal call sign of the submarine radio station KZSO was likewise chosen with the K indicating the Philippines and the Z indicating Luzon. The SO had a double meaning, first as submarine operation and also honoring Sergio Osmeña, a Filipino friend of General Douglas MacArthur. This first OWI VOA relay facility in the Philippines under the 2 consecutive call signs KZSO and then KZFM was simply a temporary fill-in operation during the construction of a new station at Malolos, which was taken into service in March 1948. This composite station was on the air for just a little over 3 full years, and at the end of its tenure, 3 transmitters were in use. The medium wave transmitter eventually operated with 10 kilowatts on 710 kilohertz, and the two shortwave transmitters were rated at 300 watts for local coverage and 1 kilowatt for external coverage. The 10 kilowatt medium wave KZFM was heard widely across the intervening saltwater pathway between Australia and New Zealand, though the low-powered shortwave units were seldom reported. It's known that the VOA facility in the Philippines did issue a few medium-wave QSL letters to international radio monitors in Australia and New Zealand for the reception of their broadcasts over the interim KZFM medium-wave transmitter in Metro Manila. Even though it was American enterprise that constructed and operated VOA OWI KZFM, it was recognized quite early as being owned by the Philippine government. It was on October the 20th, 1946, that the station was officially handed over to the Philippine government, and yet it was still operating as an American station. It was at this stage that new studios were installed on the 4th floor of City Hall building on Taft Avenue in Manila. When the American involvement finally ended, the station was located on Claro M. Recto Street, adjacent to the Far Eastern University. In July 1947, an ITU, International Telecommunication Union, conference in Atlantic City, USA, gave approval for the Philippine government to change their radio station designations from the K sequence to the D sequence. 18 months later, on January the 1st, 1949, all radio broadcasting stations throughout the Philippines abruptly made the change, and much to the surprise of international radio monitors in Australia and New Zealand. And the PBS station KZFM became DZFM. These days, the PBS key network station in Manila is DZRB, with 60 kilowatts on 738 kilohertz.
Isang paalala mula sa Philippine Broadcasting Service.
Gustong makinig ng balita pero walang AM radio sa phone? Don't worry, sagot namin yan. Download the Radio Nation Philippines app and listen to the country's prime radio stations. RP1, RP2, RP Worldwide, Radyo Pilipinas provincial stations. That's news and information on the go. Anytime, anywhere. Radio Nation Philippines. Radio Nation Philippines. Download na. Available for free on Google Play and App Store.
News and current affairs. Top stories of the day. Business, sports, music, and entertainment. Dadalhin sa inyo ng mas pinaganda, mas pinalawak, mas pinalakas.
Thank you, Ray Robinson at KVOH in Los Angeles.